Nick, you saw ISS, the International Space Station.
Yes,
What?
I saw I.S.S, science fiction thriller directed by Gabriella Cowperthwaite. She's mostly a documentary filmmaker. She directed the film Blackfish back in 2013, which received a BAFTA nomination for Best Director. She's done one other narrative feature film before, but it was called The Grab, which I saw a little bit before I saw this movie. It's not very good. But here you have a group of astronauts, both Russian and American, all living together on the International Space Station, doing research and such. When one day, a nuclear war breaks out on the surface of Earth, and the American astronauts receive a message from their government to take control of the ISS no matter the cost. And what ensues is a game of cat and mouse where it has some fantastic tension building, great use of claustrophobia. What you're seeing in the trailer here, using this confined space, the effects to create the feeling of being in zero gravity. It's impressive considering that this movie doesn't really have a budget. All of the cast you have in here is fantastic, especially it's very grounded by Ariana DeBose, who's playing a different kind of character from the one she received an Oscar nomination for West Side Story. But you also have fantastic supporting casts like Chris Messina, Pilu Asbeck from Game of Thrones, John Gallagher Jr., who was in 10 Cloverfield Lane. And rounding out the cast is Costa Ronan, who was in The Americans, and Maria Mashkova, who is playing the other female Russian scientist on board. Where this movie works really well is in its tension building and its claustrophobia. And there is one set piece in here that is outside of the space station where you have one of them doing a spacewalk, and it is an intense 15 minutes. It's the absolute highlight of the movie, but sadly nothing else really lives up to it. While you have great performances by this entire cast, and you got to spend a little bit of time with them before the inciting incident happens, where you feel the bond and the chemistry between them. You have, they're all living on board the station, so they're have this rule where, okay, we don't talk politics on board the ship. Whatever our government's doing, fuck all that. We all live together. We're all good friends. And seeing this from Ariana DeBose's character's perspective, because she is the newest member on board. But sadly, not enough time is spent with the characters to make you care when the paranoia sets in and when they do start betraying each other. I feel like this movie would have been better served if it were more ambiguous, because the movie gives it away pretty quickly that the Russian team also got the exact same orders. And I feel like it would have worked better if it was a little bit more ambiguous.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
And considering the ending of this movie, it involves a character turn that I don't think was really well set up, given what little we know about the characters, and an ending that ultimately doesn't make a whole ton of sense. I'm not going to give it away in this review. I still had an okay time with this movie. I love the performances. I love the set piece that's set out in the middle of space. But as far as like January dump releases, this is it's pretty mid.
I was gonna ask, so how does this compare to other space drama films? Maybe like something like Gravity, Interstellar, something like that. Like, how does it compare to like other space kind of dramas? Kind of.
I feel like with ISS, it is kind of exploring a little bit more grounded themes in this movie compared to stuff like Interstellar or compared to Gravity. Uh, and I kind of liked the direction it was going. It's just I feel like in the execution it kind of falls short.
How does the movie look? Because I'm trying to find the budget. I'm seeing it's
Hmm.
$22 million, the budget here.
If it was 22 million, it is very impressive for how they pull it off, because this is not using a whole ton of CG. I mean, you do in the major set piece on the spacewalk segment. and all of it looks fairly seamless. It's kind of incredible that this movie has this low of a budget and it looks as good as it does, considering last year we had so many like 200 to 300 million dollar blockbusters that all had shit CGI.
Yeah. Ray from Twitter, he was,
Hmm.
referencing Interstellar. He says, Interstellar here. He says, "Are you saying love doesn't solve every problem by the end of it?"
No.
Interesting. Okay.
No, if anything, it's a liability in this movie because
Hmm.
you do have kind of a intermingling between American and Russian characters on board the space station, which you're living in that confined of space. There's things happen.
Mm. Okay. So going back to the Russians, it seems like a long time. It was the Chinese that we were doing, like they were the movie villains. Now it's going back to the Russians again. Okay. All right.
Uh, yeah, it's nothing. I mean, even on the ISS, there are kind of a lot of mixed nationalities of crew members that end up working and living on board the station. So it really didn't it doesn't really register. That part of it didn't really register for me.
Mm. Okay. So what would be your rating for ISS?
Uh, well, I am dogging on this movie a lot in that it is really falling short of its potential as far as being like a very, very quiet, very intense thriller. I still liked so much about this that I can't give it anything less than I'd say a very low stream it. Uh, Purely for the performances, the use of the cinematography, the effects that they are getting in this movie, purely off of this low budget, how kind of grounded and lived in the ISS feels. Um, the amazing set piece that is on during the spacewalk segment, the incredible visual of the Earth on fire as this is going on, but but I feel like this movie either needed to be longer or it needed to spend more time with the characters so that when they start betraying each other, it gives the movie some emotional weight, or leave it a little bit more ambiguous with actions. It's like, was that an accident or was that intentional?
Mm. Okay. So a low streaming for
Mhm.
ISS, Nick Gibson. Okay. Oh, all right. And this movie, it's a pretty short movie. It's only an hour and 35. So quick watch. Yeah.
Yeah, I was very thankful for that because I've been working very long days this last week, and it's only going to get worse.
Mm. Yeah.
Mm.
And you fell because that's why you fell asleep in Ferrari. Is that why?
Yeah, it's like Hollywood. You can make movies under 2 hours.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God.
Yeah. Ferrari was
Please get back to that, please.
yeah 2 hours and 11 minutes.
Not everything needs to be 3 hours long.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. It's a pretty nice review. I'm gonna check it out. This probably this
Mhm.
weekend. Yeah, and then sometime this week I'm gonna be checking it out. Also, sometime next week I plan on doing maybe since I'm off for 10 days, I'm gonna
Hmm.
probably maybe do a 24-hour stream. Maybe
Hey.
Ooh.
do the celebration for the
Ooh.
1K subscribers,
Ooh.
and then also celebrate Twitch. We just crossed 300 followers there, so we did
There we
that.
Let's
go.
go.
So yeah, we did that. So next is 400. Got to get to 400 followers there on Twitch. Let's see. Raven from Charity said the success of Lord of the Rings made that runtime requirement for all films. Yeah, and I was funny enough, I was gonna send you a video.
Damn
Say,
you, Peter Jackson.
Captain Midnight, he did a recent video there about what happened to Peter Jackson. It's like, yeah, you don't really see Peter Jackson that much anymore. Wonder what happened. Like last
The
thing I seen.
the Hobbit trilogy. That's what happened.
Well, he's also moved on to doing more documentarian
Hmm.
things, which
Yeah.
actually using. He's like, I'm tired of big Hollywood. I'm actually going to
Hmm.
just archive things, and that's what he made the fantastic documentary. They Will Not Be Forgotten, which is a World War One colonization and improvement.
Oh, right. I saw
That was fantastically done. And then using that technology, he then made the Beatles 7-hour Get Back
Yeah.
documentary, which using that technology, they were able to help and finish one of John Lennon's songs that had been laboring and basically since the 90s, they've been trying to do it. And it's the last official Beatles song that has technically all 4 Beatle members in it,
Yeah.
even though
Um,
George Harrison passed.
I've been meaning to watch that. It's just that 7 hours, it's a
Oh
7
yeah,
series there.
it's split
Uh,
between like 2.5 hour, 2 40-minute segments each. So, but yeah, it, it's very interesting. But yeah, he spared no expense on their techniques, and it's really impressive just how
uh,
much he's improving the archiving process.
yeah, Brave Maturity said, "Would love to see him do a low budget horror movie and go back to his roots." Yeah, back when he did, what
Mm.
was that movie called? Brain Dead?
Oh yeah, Brain Dead,
Brain Dead, The Frighteners.
Yeah,
Sleepy Frighteners. Yeah, he
yeah,
did do
it might be some, but yeah, Peter Jackson, yeah, legendary director there.